Now, it's Ladies' Day at Aintree, lots of high heels and hats, but also a more serious issue being addressed because Animal Rights Group says it plans to stage a protest at the Grand National to stop, quote, direct harm to horses. Well, Animal Rising planning to protest at Aintree, saying it's the first of events over the summer period. Yesterday, of course, the first horse at the event confirmed dead. Could it lead to yet more tighter safety measures in terms of the horse racing calendar? Well, joining us, spokesperson for Animal Rising, is Alex Lockwood here in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. As we say, it's Ladies' Day today. Nothing planned today. It's actually for the race itself, the Grand National?
Nothing planned today, no. Tomorrow we're going to be there from 9:30 in the morning. We're going to ask everyone who cares about animals and wants to stop harm to come and join us down there. And we're going to protest outside the front, perfectly legally and peacefully. And from there, we're going to see if we can disrupt the race, because we really want to stop the harm. Right,
therein lies a very important question in terms of disrupting. Could you actually do more harm than good in terms of your message, in that it could spook the horses, horses could get frightened, people could get injured?
No, not at all, because if we're going to do anything, we're going to do it before the race gets started. That's our plan. You know, we believe that people in this country are rightly worried right now about the natural world and our treatment of it, and that includes animals. And that's whether we're pumping sewage into our rivers, that's whether we're failing to support farmers in transition to more sustainable methods. And it's also about treating wonderful animals like horses as if they're money-making machines. As you said, Envoy Special died yesterday already at the Grand National meeting. There is going to be harms. And when you're putting a bet on the Grand National, you know, there are horses in that race who've got a better chance of dying than of winning, and we think that's wrong.
Aintree, of course, and the horse racing fraternity will say that they've made huge strides in terms of addressing safety. The fences have been looked at, the way that obviously the horses are prepared and trained, and they say, you know, this is a sport that the horses themselves do actually enjoy. I mean, do you take any of that on board?
We take it on board, but we don't agree with it because it's not enough. You know, a horse dies every other day in horse racing in the UK, and that's just on the tracks.
So it's not just the Grand National, and it's the sport and other racecourses.
47 horses have died in horse racing already on the tracks this year. I mean, ours is the bigger picture. We're looking at the way that animals are exploited anywhere, for entertainment or for food. You know, our campaign over this summer is to really shine a spotlight on that treatment of animals.
So the same for greyhounds, then, in terms of dog
Same
racing?
for greyhounds, same for pigs in slaughterhouses, same for the chickens in those big industrial farms that are pumping the slurry into the rivers.
Yeah, obviously this is an issue about sport and the fact that there's so many are involved in that sport, and they say, you know, animal husbandry is very much top of the tree for them.
It is. It's not only about sport for us. We understand that. I mean, we want to see an end to the exploitation of any animals, particularly when they are led to their deaths, as they are in horse racing. You know, so we want to see an end to farming and fishing. We want to see a world where we've got a plant-based food system, a much more secure and sustainable food system. And what we want to see is actually freed up land, rewilded land, so all of those horses can go and run. We know horses love to run. Well, it's not necessarily to race. You know, we know that we want to see wild horses in this country, and we think we can do that. We have the solutions to do that, and it's such a shame that the only way that people can see horses when they love them so much is in these exploitative industries.
Right. What do you then say to those people? And you're unlikely to get a very receptive crowd there at Aintree tomorrow, because it's the big event for Merseyside. What do you say to those, you know, you're just spoiling their fun?
We think there are better ways to have fun on your Saturday than going to watch horses die. You know, go for a walk with your family, have a picnic. You know, if you want to bet a flutter on, put it on the lottery. There are many, many other ways to have fun in this 21st century than watch his horses break their necks jumping over fences.
Yeah, and what if, as Aintree has said, you know, they have made the sport as safe as possible. They're not actually taking the animals for granted and risking them. I mean, do you accept that there should be the ability for those who want to pursue the sport to do so?
Well, if the horses choose to, but of course they don't, do they? I mean, Envoy Special died yesterday, a 9-year-old horse. They did not get to live out their retirement. 47 horses already this year. 2,000 of the horses that end up in slaughterhouses in the UK every year, 55% of them have racing passports. You know, that is the reality of the horse racing industry. And it's very much
Well,
linked to
although
the
many
food
say they will go to studs and will live out their lives actually in
Some do, but there's also the case of the jockey whistleblower who told about a stable shooting 18 young foals because they weren't productive, they weren't making any money. That, to me, that's very similar to all of the industries that exploit animals, like the food industry, the sport industry. We have to bring them to an end because that's not the way that we want to live as a people in this country in 2023.